Hi, welcome back to 10-Minute Apologetics. We have been talking about intelligent design and how we can actually detect when something is intelligently designed. And we talked about how we all have an intuition. We recognize intelligent design when we see it. We recognize that things can be arranged in a purposeful order, and we see this naturally. And we talked about how you might see a random collection of rocks, and where each rock is might be very unlikely for it to be in the space that it is. But if there's no meaning, if there's no order, if there's no design to it, why would we assume that an intelligent mind put it together? But if you see rocks in the formation of an arrow, or even more, maybe rocks in the formation of a heart with words in the middle, Chris loves Shelby or something, then you would say, well, a mind obviously was involved in purpose in placing these rocks in just those spots. And we talked about two criteria that intelligent design always displays. And one is complexity, which is very low probability, not very low like, oh, 1 in 5, but extremely low, like 1 in billions and billions and billions. Low probability, and also combined with something called specificity. Specificity just means that it conveys, it has meaning, or it has function. It means something. And one way that we can demonstrate this is through letters in the words that we use every day. We all recognize letters, and the important thing to understand about these is the order of the letters matters. If you could have random letters in each spot, you could come up with anything with random letters, but we would notice that these things are random. And for maybe very small words, if I just pulled letters out of a Scrabble bag, I might pick out like C and A and T, and I might get the word cat. Or I might pick out 3 letters and I might get G, U, and N, and I might get gun, or G, N, U, and I get new, which is, I think, like a yak. Oh, I might get Y, A, K. Those are very, very short words. So even though picking out 3 letters and getting a 3-letter word might be unlikely, we wouldn't think that there was intelligent design involved. And if you dump out a bunch of Scrabble tiles from a bag, or all of them, you might be able to sort through all of the tiles and see 3 letters close to each other that might make a word. But the longer the word, the more unlikely you will know it to be to have come about by random chance. If you look at this selection of Scrabble tiles, when we just randomly dump out the bag, something in you is going to say, something's not right here. There is an intelligent agency involved that's pulling some kind of a stunt, and you would be exactly right. Just think of the letters GLITNLCLEEIEN. I mean, those letters, you wouldn't expect them to be intelligence or intelligently designed or intelligently planned. They just seem like completely random letters, right? But if you rearrange the letters, you get a word. So the sequence of letters matters in conveying meaning. And obviously the word intelligence, it has 13 letters. That means each letter has a 1 in 26 chance, because there's 26 letters, of appearing in each spot. And the longer the word, then the more unlikely that word is to come about by random chance, just randomly selecting letters out of a bag. In fact, the likelihood of this would be 1 in 26 to the 13th power. 26 times 26 times 26 times 26, 13 times. Never, ever would come about by random chance pulling random letters out of a bag. You start getting extremely large numbers when you get to that point. So, is there something that we can apply this to? The specified complexity, so it's specified the word intelligence, the letters are arranged in a purposeful arrangement, and you can see that the word intelligence conveys meaning, while the letters GLITNLCLEEIEN do not convey meaning. They're both equally complex. The string of letters is equally unlikely, but they are not specified in the Glittenklegi whatever one, whereas in the word intelligence, they do display specificity. Is there anything else where you can think of where maybe we haven't seen the designer, we don't know a designer exists? Well, we do if we're a Christian. But where the sequence of letters is very, very important, yes. You know, the Bible says in Psalm 139, it says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. In a New Living Translation, it says, "Thank you for making me so marvelously complex." And when David wrote that psalm, they didn't know anything about the human body. But when they discovered the electron microscope, and in fact, Watson and Crick actually discovered the DNA molecule, or at least the structure, that it was a double helix pattern, a spiral sort of looking thing, pattern of the DNA molecule. And the DNA molecule is the building instructions of all of our body plans. Every living thing has DNA. And the DNA, what matters about the DNA is it consists of four letters: A, T, C, and G. And the sequence of those letters matter. The sequence of the letters are what gives the DNA function. It's the program for our bodies. Now, the question is, because the order of the letters matter, the same as in language. That's the key thing. The same as in human language, the order of DNA matters. The same as software coding. When you put in software code and you input code, the order of what you put in, letters and parentheses and numbers and all of that stuff, I'm not a computer coder, but all of that matters. It affects the function of the program. And the four letters is basically a language inside of our cells, the DNA, that is smaller than the human eye can see, but the order of the letters decide ultimately what is being built. Now, how long is DNA? Maybe it's, a word. DNA spells a word, and that word is you. It makes you who you are. Well, at least the physical part of who you are, because Christians believe that we're more than just our physical being. But think about this. DNA is 3 billion characters long. So the chance of your DNA being exactly in the order it is, that describing exactly who you are physically, is 1 in 4 to the 3 billionth power. And if those letters were rearranged in a different way, it wouldn't be you, it would be someone or something completely different. And so the order of those letters is extremely specific, and it's extremely important to determining who you are, just like human language. So DNA shows not only complexity, beyond anything the human mind can comprehend, it also is very specific, because the order and the arrangement of the letters A, T, C, and G matter. It has to be in just so. In fact, Bill Gates described DNA. He said DNA is a lot like computer code or a computer program, only far more complex than anything that's ever been written by a human. And that's what shows us that a mind was involved in creating our DNA. And even looking beyond DNA, our bodies are made of cells, right? And cells are made of proteins and little molecular machines that are made of proteins. And proteins are made up of things called amino acids. There's 20 basic amino acids. You think of an amino acid like tryptophan. You celebrate that every Thanksgiving when you eat turkey and then you feel all tired. Tryptophan is an amino acid that builds up and makes protein. These 20 amino acids are like an alphabet of 20 letters that have to go in the exact right order to make proteins. And proteins are needed to make cells and molecular machines inside of our cells that help all of us. We wouldn't exist without them. And what makes those proteins? The correct sequence of amino acids put in the right order. And there's no natural selection. There's no magic that goes into ordering these amino acids in the right way. It's random. And yet, so how many letters long, if amino acids are 20-letter alphabet, how many letters long, how many amino acids long is an average protein? An average protein is about 300 amino acids long. And it has to fold in the right way, and there's a little more involved in protein science. But the main thing to understand is the sequence of amino acids is necessary to get a functional protein. And amino acids in each spot can be 1 out of 20 amino acids that make a functional protein, 300 amino acids long. That the chances of getting a functional protein then are 1 in 20 to the 300th power. Even a short protein would be 1 in 20 to the 100th power. And there's a little more that goes into it that determines this. And a lot of people, if you're an atheist might say, that we can't invoke an intelligent agent because we don't know the intelligent agent exists. Look at the SETI program, though. SETI is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. The SETI program has existed for decades, where basically we're looking for patterns in electromagnetic radiation out in the cosmos, out in the outer space, looking for functional signals that show us that intelligent life exists, a functional pattern. They're looking for specified complexity to detect the existence of aliens the same way we're looking for specified complexity, meaningful functional pattern, and high degree of complexity, high degree of unlikelihood or improbability, to search for an even greater intelligence, an intelligent designer that who ultimately we believe is God. So I hope you join me again. We're going to be digging a little more into this, looking at laws of physics as we dive further into intelligent design. And, the amazing thing for me is how amazing this makes God look, because, the way he put us together and the way he created this universe is just honestly a demonstration of his brilliance and his power. The more science develops and the more science progresses, the more amazing and the bigger and more mind-blowing is the God who made it all. And that's the beauty of science, and that's why I love it. Thank you once again for joining me in 10-minute apologetics, or maybe 12-minute apologetics in this case. I really love getting the chance to talk to you and hopefully teach you and hopefully you learn a little bit. Feel free to post a comment or ask a question if there's anything that you didn't understand. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.